I'm not where I was once before. Hey everybody, if you're just joining us, so I recently moved, which is the reason why I've been very light on content recently. Been really focused on that, and all the stress and anxiety that's come along with that has really brought to mind something that I want to talk about, and that is burnout. Now, that is not to say that I'm burnt out on the channel or anything like that. It's just, doing something as big as that brought to mind, because it is something that we all experience within this hobby. Now, I have talked about a DM burnout before, but I want to talk about something that I think happens just as frequently, but is maybe not talked about as much, and that is player burnout. So obviously, I think player burnout is a thing. So what are the things that can cause it? The first one that can happen is, maybe you're just playing in one too many games per week, which I know sounds really crazy and a lot of people are going to scoff at, but the fact of the matter is, we only have so much time in a day, and playing TTRPGs can take up a lot of that time. So it's one of those things where perhaps maybe it's just doing one too many things, and TTRPGs is one of them. That can lead to burnout and just losing interest in the hobby if you're constantly playing. I have seen that happen with people who signed up for a lot of games because of the pandemic, but when regular life started to resume, they started to, lose interest in playing all these games because that's basically all they were doing. They're either working, playing games, or eating, which for a lot of people sounds really good, but in reality can be kind of unhealthy. Another one that can happen is that maybe it's just the system. You and your group have been playing D&D 5e for a very long time, and you love it, but you've had to homebrew it so much to where it almost doesn't even resemble 5th edition anymore, and you're kind of just getting tired. Perhaps then just try another system. Pathfinder 2nd edition is a wonderful option. Maybe even try Savage Worlds, Starfinder, Monster of the Week, Star Wars Edge of the Empire, Call of Cthulhu. See what works best for you. Maybe it's just the system that you're getting burned out on. It can happen. I love D&D 5th edition, but after a while I did start getting burned out on it. And then I started digging back into Pathfinder 2nd edition, and I found a love for both systems once again. Again, it can happen. Lastly, and probably most tragically, maybe it's just the group. Maybe this group that you've been playing with for who knows how long is potentially not really a good fit anymore. And it's causing harm on your enjoyment of the game. Maybe the campaign isn't exactly what you expected. Maybe just what you all enjoy out of it is different. This can happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. Sadly, there are some people I just don't really play with anymore because we don't play the same way. The things that we enjoy out of the game are no longer really the same. Now we come to the thing of what do we do when we detect burnout? We detect that you're just not looking forward to gaming every single week. Maybe because of the group, maybe the system, or you're just in one too many. What do you do? Well, first off, if you're in one too many, I would say find the game that you enjoy the most and potentially stick with that. Or maybe just step away altogether. And by that, I mean playing. Take a breather. Take a little hiatus away from it, and then come back and join a few games. Find your max, and then pretty much stick there. Personally, I really can only do 2 consistently, and then maybe 1 that happens every so often. Other people have different limits. Some people maybe only it's 1 game per week, and it's a weekly game. Maybe you just exchange every other week between different groups. Find a schedule that works well for you as a player that doesn't force you to become stretched thin to the point of where you just stop enjoying the game, stop enjoying the character, what have you. Find a schedule that works well for you. If it's a system, that's a pretty easy one. Just have a discussion with your group. Odds on favor is if you're feeling it, maybe some other people are feeling it, especially if you've been homebrewing it a lot, and then just try other systems. Who knows? Maybe switch out DMs, maybe switch out anything. Try it. See what happens. Just talk with your group and go from there. Maybe you do a little mini campaign to see if this is something that you all would enjoy, or even take a little bit of a break from your main game. Little breaks to try out new systems can be a lot of fun, especially if you give it over to a new DM. And then lastly is a group. Maybe it's just not a right fit anymore. Unfortunately, I did have to come to this conclusion about a group not too long ago. Been playing with them for a long time, but realized our interests in the game just really didn't align anymore. And certain things that we did enjoy at one point, I no longer really enjoyed. In fact, it kind of created a horror story, if I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't necessarily the biggest help in that situation either. So, just one of those things I had to come to realization. You weren't a good fit. It's something you don't want to do. But maybe if you're feeling burnt out, and it's not the scheduling, it's not the system, maybe it's the group. You just need to find a better group. There's often a saying of no D&D is better than bad D&D. The saying is true. Because bad D&D can ruin your taste and enjoyment in the hobby altogether. While stepping away from it, you can still preserve it. And potentially find a group that will heighten your enjoyment of the game in ways you never thought you could. If you're feeling burnt out, that's okay. Everyone feels tired. Everyone at one point in their life wonders, am I really enjoying this? Am I really looking forward to going to session tonight? And if you're wondering that, well, maybe it's time to take a look and see what the root cause could be. And then go from there. You're not alone. It's completely normal. So if you're feeling burnt out, I hope this was able to help you in some way, shape, or form. We're all here to enjoy the hobby in some way, shape, or form. And I hope you're able to continue to do that. So, with that everyone, until next time, keep being awesome. Keep rolling those dice.